still mad that I paid for that. Like, the engine was sparking just fine. Hey everybody, it's your girl TraciAmina and welcome to another vlog. It looks different again and it's because I am home for the holidays. It is Thanksgiving Eve and I came back to Texas to spend holidays with my family. Duke is right here, and then also my sister had to work today, so I have like the kitchen to myself. I wanted to get my sweet potato pies and my German chocolate cake knocked out because when my sister gets off work, my dad, my mom, and her are gonna be up in the kitchen cooking. And I just like to bake, and I want positive vibes. Plus I wanted to catch up with y'all too, because we went from me moving to New York, and then I used like the few days that I was there to sort of anchor myself in a routine. I did drive back to Texas. I know it sounds like freaking crazy, but I'm also trying to like cover my edges. Y'all know how I be showing up. But anyway, I drove back here because when I was initially moving and driving like the stuff I was bringing into the guest house with me, there was things that couldn't fit in the car that I left at my friend's Yaya house. So I just need to be able to grab those items and drive it back up with me. And then that's it. The move will be complete from Texas. I'm just out here, y'all. I think Duke don't know what's going on. I'm trying to really anchor myself in some type of routine, which I feel like I have developed so far while living in New York. As soon as we were getting into our groove, then we started driving back here to Texas. And I really think I was a truck driver in my previous life because I got us here in 26 hours, baby. And that's with me taking Duke for his walks, giving him his meals on the road. I was on it, okay? Who is texting me? Damn. But anywho, this morning, braces update, I got my rubber bands, guys. You see? I got my rubber bands and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the rubber band stage. She was like, every single day, Tracy, every single day. I was like, okay, will do. But yeah, I got my rubber bands. My gap is closing, guys. I'm so happy because you guys know that was the main reason why I wanted to get my braces, was because when I smiled on the right side of my mouth, there was a large gap and I would just feel insecure. But when I got the braces, I started noticing other imperfections in my teeth, and I'm noticing that my mouth is like really shaping up nicely. Like I'm seeing like things are aligning now, and I'm just like, dang, like, okay. So I'm really happy with my progress so far. I'm trying to get better with speaking to the camera with my braces because I feel like I only notice it when I'm vlogging. See, this is what I'm talking about. While I'm vlogging, that I don't pronounce my words correctly, or it feels like spit is like just right here, you know? So it's like frustrating. Anyway, I'm just gonna have to push through it because we have a new chapter starting, guys. And I was living in New York before I moved back to Houston. There's different regions within the United States where Black people cook differently, okay? And I'm not trying to throw the North region underneath the bus, but damn, I really missed a Southern Thanksgiving when I was in New York. So I taught myself how to make like Thanksgiving Southern style, and not even Southern style, but like Louisiana, Texas type style, because that's what I'm used to. Long story short, I'm really happy that I'm here because my first Thanksgiving in New York, I low-key cried. And I was at my best friend's house, the house that I'm staying at now. I was at her house and I cried because it was nice, but I was like, damn, the food is just not the same. And I thought Black people cooked the same everywhere, and it was like, no.
Might have to deal with it. See, I pick my own bills, get it? Why I gotta please don't stop loving. I find it hard to love it. 'Cause
Y'all, let me tell you guys about my day, okay? I have been at the dealership waiting for my car to get serviced literally since 9 o'clock this morning. And I'm not going off on a dealership. I'm just going off on my luck this Thanksgiving week, okay? I've been having like what I say, like, not necessarily bad luck, but it's just like, damn, this keeps, why is this happening, you know? So long story short, when I left New York to start driving home for Thanksgiving, I had a rental car reservation. And so when I go pick up my rental car, they only had luxury SUVs left, right? I wanted something very mid-size SUV, just something that was a little spacious, nothing too much, but they had the Chevy Suburbans and all that stuff. And I was like, I do not need all this room. Then number one, on the road to drive from New York to Houston, that's going to be just a gas guzzler. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to drive my car. I'm going to take my car to go get an oil change. And then I'm going to get on the road and just drive back home. Y'all, so I go get my oil change. They come and tell me, they was like, oh, your coolant tank needs to be replaced. I was like, why? They was like, oh, it looks like at some point somebody mixed generic coolant with the coolant that belongs in the vehicle, and it caused corrosion in the tank. So they popped the hood. They showed me like it literally looked like somebody put like the fall leaves that hit the ground. So it looked like somebody put a bunch of those inside my coolant tank, because the coolant tank looked like it was filled with like brown and gold like fall leaves. That's the best way I can describe it. And then he reaches and he dips in the coolant, and the coolant is like a brown color. And he was like, it's supposed to be like a pinkish orange color. So he was like, you're going to need to get this fixed. He was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't necessarily make a road trip in this car unless you get the coolant fixed. But I don't recommend that you just go anywhere for it to be fixed. I think you need to go to a Volkswagen dealership in order to get it, you know, repaired. So I was like, okay, cool. So I left there. I called the closest Volkswagen like near me, and they basically was like, if the car wasn't there by X, Y, and Z, that it wasn't going to be able to get worked on until Monday. Mind you guys, this is happening on a Saturday, right? I prayed, I made a deal with God. I was like, look, God, I'm gonna get on this road, and the deal is, if you don't let the car, nothing happen to the car, overheat or anything, I will get the car serviced in Texas before I get back on the road to head back to New York. Mind you guys, the car has never overheated or anything. Like, it's never been a problem. But also at the same time, with a drive that long, I just didn't want to chance it. And then I just feel like sometimes I have bad luck, right? I just feel like whatever could happen will happen to me. I get on the phone with my prayer partner. We pray. And I drive to Texas, y'all. Like, no problem driving to Texas. Like I said, I made it to Texas in like 26 hours. I was like, okay, I had made a service appointment with the dealership to have the coolant tank replaced. I'm literally one exit away from the dealership. I'm driving behind this car. A large cardboard box that was folded up drops off the back of this car. I could not swerve to the left or right because there was cars in the lanes and we were all going the same speed limit. Everybody was riding in each other's blind spot. So I was like, damn. So I had no choice but to go over this flat folded cardboard box. The car goes underneath the vehicle. I'm noticing that it's making a lot of noise and it's staying with me for a while before it flies from underneath the car. So I'm on the phone with my uncle. Me and my uncle was just on the phone talking, and I kept telling him, I said, it sounds like I hear a lot of air in my car. He was like, what do you mean? So while all this is going on, I'm telling him what's happening. And then when the cardboard box come from underneath the car, I'm like, I hear a lot of air. So I tell him what was happening. I exit, and when I exit, I pulled over and I see that my engine cover, you know, the black little tray looking thing underneath your car, I see that is in like going 3 different ways. So my uncle's on speaker. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm right here at the dealership. Why is this happening? Like, this is so annoying, right? this guy pulls up. I don't even know where he came from, but he pulls up out of nowhere. He was like, do you need some help? Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to see if it can lift up because I can see the dealership. So I'm like, I'm just trying to make it to the dealership. So the guy like gets on the ground and he like pops it in. He was like, it's broken, so you're gonna have to be careful because it's pretty messed up. And I was like, oh, I'm going to the dealership right then. I was like, thank you so much. He was like, yeah, I stopped because you look like my little cousin and everything. So that's why I stopped, but I hope everything works out. And he just so nice, gets in his car, leaves, don't want nothing, like just a good Samaritan. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna pray for him tonight. I go to the dealership. They check me in for the coolant shit that has to happen. So I tell him, I said, look, I was literally right there at the exit and I have to like, you know, the thing falls. So he takes a look at it. He was like, man, it's completely gone. He was like, it ripped off and you only have the edges around the perimeter in the front. So we're going to have to replace it. I said, okay. I go inside the waiting room. I set up shop. Y'all, I have my laptop. I have like all of my tools to like work. Okay. If you guys are new here, I do accounting for a living. So it's like, I don't just set up my laptop and no, I have like a bunch of shit I just have to set up with to start working for the day. I set up everything. So I'm starting to work and I'm noticing that every time I go to contact someone, they're out of office. I'm like, okay, everybody took off work today. Y'all, something told me, go to the company site and look at the calendar. Y'all, why was I off work today? I was off work today. There was no need for me to like bring all my shit. And my work travel little thing be heavy. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I just closed everything down. I called my boss. I'm like, I'm over here working and we closed. So he starts laughing. He thought the shit was hilarious. So I just took out my journal and I was like, let me just journal out my thoughts because I found myself to be very irritated. I started journaling. The technician comes. He gives me an estimate of all this shit that he says needs to be fixed with my car. I'm like, look, I'm not dropping $5,000 right now. Okay. Like, what is necessary? So he was like, you definitely need to add the spark plugs because your spark plugs are bad. Like, yo, when I start that fucking car, it sparks just fine. He was like, no, you need to get it. $921 later, I finally walked out of the damn dealership. So I was just like so annoyed because I don't mind spending money, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. But when it comes to the car, I feel like I do what's necessary. I get my oil changes. I make sure that I don't drive on E on my car or anything. I always like make sure I have a full tank, get my oil change and keep it good. Because at the end of the day, I work from home. This is a weekend car. This is like I ain't gonna lie, I'm right under 150,000 miles on this car. But I was irritated because it took up my whole day and I didn't have to go to work. And I just feel like I could have dilly-dallied a little bit. So I'm outside of Duke's dog care. I'm about to go get his ass. You know, I wanted him to like say hi to his homies while he was in town. Go put a load in the washing machine at my sister's house. Just pack up, get ready to hit the road tomorrow. And I have a nail appointment, y'all. I've been having these nails for 2 months. These nails have seen it all. I mean, y'all, like you guys see it, like, but they have held on through this entire move, through everything. So now that I'm gonna be bringing back the last little stuff that was left over from my move, like this is it. I'm gonna get my nails done in the morning and then go pick up Duke and just start driving back to New York. But yeah, guys, that was my day. So I'm officially back on the road, headed to New York. After I left the nail shop, Tony killed it. He killed it, baby. After I left the nail shop, I had already put gas in the car, but I wanted to top it off, so I topped off the gas. I went by the grocery store because there's these baby wipes that I like to buy for Duke. They're like unscented and all that stuff. And it's the HEB brand. It's just like extra large baby wipes. So one baby wipe, I can like wipe his paws, his whole body after his walks. So I re-upped on those. And then I stopped and I got me a coffee because that's how a bitch be speeding. I just be, I just be speeding my little tail off. But you know, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking to myself, like, the promise I made with God was, God, I'll get the coolant repaired before I get back on the road. I didn't say nothing about adding no spark plugs, okay? Because I'm still mad that I paid for that. Like, the engine was sparking just fine. That's like really bothering me. Like, where the hell did the spark plugs become an issue?
Know what I'm talking about, 'cause you just get me, yeah, you so pretty. If everything is dipped in gold, then baby